there, my name is Tekla Salmon and I'm going to be chatting with you about cooking with tender herbs today. I usually love using things like basil, but in winter they don't grow in the garden, so I enjoy having them indoors. They look pretty in my kitchen, and having them in fun coloured pots, and just popping down to Stodels and buying the more tender herbs and leaving them in the kitchen in a sunny spot, of course. But the rest of my herbs, like the oregano and thyme, and even my parsley, I find grow just fine during winter. So I'm going to show you a herb oil that I use, which I have just on hand in the fridge at all times, so that I don't have to go to the garden and get my herbs. So I take herbs like oregano, which I'm just going to strip off of its woody stem. The parsley, I don't even have to get too finicky about picking too close to the leaf, because the stems themselves are tasty. I just take the thicker part off. And the same applies with basil. The stems themselves are quite tasty, but one doesn't want the thicker parts, so you can just sort of roughly pull away the leaves from the stalk and wrap them up in the larger herbs. So the big leaves of basil tend to be a nice way to roll up the smaller herbs into a cigar-like shape. And then I just cut slices out, which already is a relatively fine way, and you could garnish things with just these little strips. But otherwise you just simply turn it around again and you slice across those strips. So already your herbs are relatively finely chopped, but if you're wanting to chop them even more finely, you would use the sort of rocking motion of your chef's knife to just chop them as finely as you require them. You're not doing this up and down motion because you don't want to go through to the white. The pith is what is bitter. We want just the aromatic zest of the lemon. So I start from the bottom of the lemon at the top of the grater and pull down in one motion and then turn. And then you're left with these lovely strips, which are just pure zest, and they have the most incredible aroma. Just popping a clove of garlic into my garlic crusher and giving that a little squeeze out, trimming it off. Okay, so we're ready to make our mixture. We have our finely chopped herbs, our crushed garlic, our lemon zest, a little bit of salt, and our lovely Italian organic olive oil. So we're going to take our herbs, pop them in a bowl, the garlic. Of course, you can use as much or as little garlic as you like. And I won't probably put all of this lemon zest, but a nice little sprinkle. And you've got a little portion going there. And we want to cover it with oil. So popping the oil in, again, you don't want to have too much oil. You just want it there to preserve the herb mixture and to let the oil itself infuse. Now you have your nice mixture, preserved with the olive oil, the herbs, the garlic. And then if you want to, you could add a little bit of salt. And that's ready to pop in a Tupperware and put into the fridge. It's lovely to serve this on the table, a saucer of the lovely rich coloured oil with the green herbs, some crusty bread, just to dip your bread into it and be able to eat that as a little starter. Now I'm going to show you how to make steamed veggies something absolutely sensational. Steamed veggies are pretty boring, let's face it. So taking some of your pre-made herb oil, I take my fork and just let some of the oil drip off, grabbing mostly the herbs, the garlic and the lemon zest, and popping a spoon or two of that onto my veggies and giving them a toss around, just coating them with just that little bit of bright, lively flavor. If there was salt in your mixture, you wouldn't need to add salt, or if you hadn't, then you can season now with a little bit of salt. But suddenly those veggies go from boring to pretty exciting. Delicious. Plate up that steak. Just putting a few slices on the plate. Sauce this with our pre-made herb oil, taking mostly the herbs. So we're wanting to let that oil drain away and just drizzle that down the center of your steak so that each slice has a wonderful mouthful of this herby, garlicky, lemon zesty experience. And then you can just put one last drizzle of oil down the center. And there you have a meal Tim Noakes would be proud of.